Hello, guys, and welcome down to the CoasterGen Show this week. This week we have some awesome guests. We have Mikhile, Sean from ParkSpill, Michele as well, who does a lot of work with us in No Limits. And we have James. Say hi, James.
Hi, James.
So, today we've got quite a bit of intimate news coming out of the the old YouTube today. Hello to everybody who's watching. Hello to everybody in the chat as well. What we're going to touch on first. Okay, should we go Planet Coaster first? That they've released the physical copy artwork today. That was out there on Twitter and social media. What did you guys think of the B&M, the Intamin train on the B&M track?
I've only just seen this. I thought it was hilarious.
Technically not wrong, though.
No,
Technically
you
not
are
wrong.
You are right though, James. You are right. Like,
Because you got Shockwave.
yeah,
We got that one that was at Magic Mountain at one time.
that one time.
Well, before it was considered too rough and just
Because
destroyed.
they did originally have that track design, the B&M track design, and then the founders of B&M left.
So what you say? So what you're saying? Frontier wanted to throw an intentional throwback then?
Well, probably not.
No.
Don't get me wrong, they probably did screw up. But I'm just saying, it's not the hugest of screw ups.
I mean, that is some long time planning if that's what they've done.
Yeah, they just had that in the archives for the past few decades.
Yeah, so just a quick one.
Yeah, as Jamie said, Intamin Giovanola.
Yeah,
Both
that's the
use that
one.
track design.
So just a quick one, guys. ParkSpill has just dropped his Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlog, obviously with the stunning cinematic video as well. So make sure you go and check that out. The links to his channel in the video description below, so make sure you go and check that out after the stream. And make sure you subscribe to ParkSpill as well. We like having you on here, Sean. We love it.
I love being here. It's great.
Yeah, it's
I love
good.
it. I was having a good time.
So what are you expecting out? Are you going to get a Planco for console, or are you just going to keep playing it on PC?
I will definitely be playing it on PC.
Yeah, I don't know, James. What do you reckon? What do you think they're actually going to do to it? I mean, we've had this conversation before, but I think now with that little gameplay thing, oh man, that was so bad watching Danny stream that theme park family, and then it
That
just
was hilarious, man.
oh man, that was brutal. Everyone's like, is that it? Is that it?
That's the thing, like, them bringing it over to console, they're not really going to change anything about the gameplay.
Nah.
It's just a straightforward
port.
port over from
Yeah.
PC to console with some optimizations. They're not going to do anything drastically different.
No, I don't think so.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like, whenever a company says gameplay trailer,
It's a gameplay trailer.
It's never showing what the gameplay is going to be like. It's basically their way of saying, we haven't pre-rendered this footage. This is actually from the game engine. But they don't. They haven't. It's never them showing the controls or anything. But yeah, I don't really see anything changing in.
I was just thinking, yeah, as long as they can port it over in a decent way, I'm sure just the console, because it's for people who can't play it on a PC, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the
Yeah,
day. I
pretty
can't
much.
see them doing anything different with it.
Nah.
As long as they get as
own-
close.
The only thing that might be different is the fact that you won't have access to Steam Workshop. A lot of that workshop content.
Oh wow!
You
What a
nev- you
rubbish
nev-
game.
You never get on console. Like, if you look at The Sims 4, when they ported Sims 4 from PC over to console,
Yeah, and how much did they charge for all them add-ons, man?
the main thing that was kind of hyped up about Sims 4 on PC was like this workshop thing that they had, where you could upload houses or Sims, and that was like you could download any one of them. But for the console version, they actually had to specifically kind of curate a list of ones that people wanted in there. You didn't have full access to it because people were able to use mods and stuff on the PC, which you couldn't use on console. So quite often you actually lose out on functionality in terms of workshop and being able to share parks and stuff when it gets ported over, unfortunately. So whether that happens this time is yet to be seen.
I mean, the biggest thing I think Planet Coaster are trying to go for here is they're going to try and make as much money, like just literally repeat the business model of release the game, release the packs, charge a fortune for them at the start, and then bring the sales down towards the end when maybe Planet Coaster 2 comes out or whatever. But they're using this to they're going to make so much money from this because they've made so much from PC. Like, I've bought them all. So,
yeah,
you know, and I'm a content creator, and I'm using their stuff. I'm using the whole library of scenery that they've got to offer, plus the Steam Workshop, like James says. But if you don't have the Steam Workshop, then you're going to have to pay for these packs for the extra things.
It's a win-win for them in a way, though, isn't it? Because
for them,
they'll introduce people to the game through console, get people onto that, and then they'll see, you know, oh, I need to get PC if I want to get access to that. So then they're buying the game twice in the end. Yeah, so that's probably what will happen, you know.
It's kind of like the GTA model.
Yeah.
Where they just like make money off everyone on every single platform that they can.
But, which is good news for Planco too, if that's the
Frontier.
case.
Well, to be honest with you, it's good for us in a way because we don't have to buy it again. We can play it on PC. But if other people are going to keep buying it, then that's only going to fund Frontier to do bigger projects like Planet Coaster 2, for example. So hopefully, this is their way of trying to get a revenue together for that project, where they can go, right, let's go, Planet Coaster 2, it's happening. Let's make it look miles better than Planet Zoo. But Planet Zoo looks incredible compared to Planet Coaster. Like, it really does. It stands out above it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do we know the like in-game improvements they made to Planet Zoo over Planet Coaster?
Yeah, it's literally the environment.
It's not something I know about.
It's the entire engine.
It was pretty much the entire engine, but they added like environment, lighting effects, ambience, weather as well. Weather was a big one. Yeah.
The staff stuff, isn't it, as well, with like the staff paths and
like
how they act,
designating zones and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was rubbish. That doesn't need to happen in Planet Coaster 2. Don't do that. I'm playing a sandbox mode. I don't want anything, you know. I just want to build.
It's one of them though, isn't it? They've got to cater to a lot of different tastes, because if they were just targeting like enthusiasts, that would be a pretty small market for a video, you know, game company to target. They want people, just general people who want to make a theme park and maybe will play the campaigns. So I think they've got to get that right, really. And I think that's, for me anyway, I like this. I only play in sandbox mode, but I want a good campaign mode.
Yeah. Okay. So good campaign mode. So if you had the option in sandbox mode to turn off the managerial tools.
Yeah, that needs to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be all over Planet Zoo if that happened. It's just too awkward. Like, I remember Zoo Tycoon, you could literally click on an enclosure and just press feed, and then bam, food appears. Well, you know,
that's what turned me off Planet Zoo, because there's just too much going on. Like it stints your creativity. You can't do anything.
No, you can't. And you've got to build power supplies and pumps and all that kind of stuff as well. You should be able to just build it and then bury it underground so no one can see it. That is what, because the guests whinge as well. So they do have a lot to learn from Planet Zoo. And again, Planet Zoo is now starting to rely on the Steam Workshop and people making things outside, like in Blender, you know, the Theme Maker's Toolkit, stuff like that. And it's just becoming a bit like Google SketchUp, but a renderer for it. That's kind of what the game is becoming, and it's getting annoying. Like, because Frontier, when they do things like the scenery and stuff, it's amazing. There's nothing like it. So, I don't know. Hopefully, there'll be more packs, because people are going to get bored of 4 or 5 packs now on the console. So they'll have to bring out some more for us on PC as well. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. What's that? Can I get a shout out for the great town of Aberdeen, who beat German team this evening? Yeah, so my mate Mike played against my mate Tom on PES on PlayStation. He scored a mean free kick. So there you go, Tom. You just got owned. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much covered Planco. You guys happy to move on?
Yes.
So last night, if you guys didn't see the crazy stream that we did with Screw Loops and Theme Park Family, it was immense of Virtual Towers Online. And thank you so much if you've subscribed from that stream and you're listening now. And if you're listening back on playback, thank you so much. But make sure you go and check out that stream, because the release of Virtual Towers Online, the new update with all the nighttime rides and the Scarefest vibe, that should be out this weekend. Now, they did say
as long as it goes. As long as it goes well,
Yes.
and they can fix the bugs, it should be this weekend. No guarantees though.
They did find a few bugs during our stream. I remember them saying they'd seen a few things. So,
like apparently, Chris managed to phase through a wall in the towers. Apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's if you haven't seen it, it's incredible.
Man, the virtual towers real was unreal. Yeah. The background of the stream tonight.
Yeah,
is
so
a
literally,
screen cap,
and that's our new end screen
online.
as well. And we actually have the lights moving. I was going to keep the video on, so it like would be the lights moving, and I might do that for next week. But yeah. So should we get onto these Intamins and have a look at what is coming out of Intamin? So if you guys don't know, literally today Intamin dropped about 4 videos on the YouTube channel.
From what I've seen, it's 4. They might have added more.
They might have added
some more the other day.
By the time of this recording, there could be another 16 on there.
Today it was 4, but they did release 3 days ago. So they're dropping a lot of concepts.
Yeah, so the first one is Intamin Ride's Hot Racer compilation. So this is basically the single rail track. I'm going to play the video now, guys. So, yeah, enjoy, and we'll talk about it. So if you guys want to watch it, who's in the chat as well, because I can't really share my screen while we're... If you watch the thing there,
yeah.
Put it on. All right, here we go. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah. Obviously, rendered in no limits.
Yeah, rendered in no limits. And you know what's interesting, guys, about this as well? Is that there's people sat in the seats, which is, for someone who uses no limits, that's very exciting. Even though they might be just 3D models.
Yeah, they're just 3D models.
And they are looking at the camera as well. Like, it looks really freaky.
They don't look.
Yeah, they're all just staring out the camera.
Yeah.
What if the camera's on top of them? Then an extra snap back.
World's first wall ride dive. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That's not just a wave.
Pretty much. No, Marcello. It's a wall ride dive now.
Oh.
Yeah, so you put them in your RMC.
Give me a couple of days, lads.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments what you think about this.
Well, I'm just gonna kick it off. Just, it seems like Intamin are kind of copying a lot of other companies' designs. I get they've been copied in the past, but they've copied quite a few designs in the with these concepts, and not really coming up with their own concepts at the moment.
I think it's important to note that. Well, in my opinion, anyway, I think it's important to just remember that that's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are gonna see these and be all in the. In fact, I've already seen in the comments to this video just people like, oh, they're copying RMC. They can't come up with anything by themselves. First of all, how exclusive was RMC's Raptor model? Having one more alternative isn't going to hurt anyone. It's going to be an awesome, fun experience. And like we said before we started recording, these kind of, manufacturers taking inspiration from other manufacturers' work. This has happened literally for decades since the first tubular steel coasters by Arrow were created, and just started popping up all over the coaster world and everything. Like this has been done so many different times, and I don't really get what's the problem with it.
It's kind of it's kind of like a new concept. I mean, we go back to when it went from exclusively wooden coasters to then then getting steel coasters. it's like they get a different type, and it's now everyone's following suit because they're like, actually, this could be really good. And historically, it doesn't matter what it is, any type of product in anything, the first to market is not necessarily the best. It's normally the second or third, isn't it? That normally get it right. If you know what I mean. So it could be exciting. It could be very exciting.
Well, what I see is the single rail spine of Intamin is still there, whereas RMC is just the iBox single. So I mean, that tells you that they've tried to. So I think they can do more than RMC with that single rail spine in the back because it supports it more. So maybe we're going to get some really cool, interesting new inversions and things like the wall ride. That looks amazing.
It just looks interesting.
It did. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm not a huge fan of the car design.
I think it's later.
Design.
I think that's just related to the theme of each.
Yeah, I know it is the theme, but I'm not a huge fan of that one.
Yeah, I mean that one is just literally like a little Hot Wheels, like it's like a Mario Kart go-kart thing. It actually does. Why can't it be? Maybe it's for Mario, Super Mario World.
I'm not a huge fan.
Maybe it's for Mario World.
Yeah, maybe
something like that though in Ferrari World.
Super
Look
Nintendo
insane
World.
though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean small footprint. There it is. There's the wall ride. I mean, look at that.
Really well.
So it goes up and then it goes back on itself, and then it kind of does a more than
weird element.
A more than vertical turnout. Yeah,
it's just weird.
It looks cool though.
It looks good. I can imagine it being amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just seeing it in a single track. It's just so odd.
Yeah,
and again, it's probably going to be an improved experience purely because it has lap bars over the instead of the RMC sort of like strappy vest restraints they had.
And can I just be Mr. Realistic and bring everyone back down to earth by saying they are single rider seats as well, so social distancing not a problem. So
yeah, you say that. But most of the issues that we're having with the social distancing thing isn't the fact that he sat next to someone; it's leaving rows between them. What they're doing.
But they've all stopped doing it now.
Yeah, they've all stopped doing that now because everyone's wearing masks. They've realised that everyone's actually wearing masks on the thing. So
it's kind of because they said you can't ride without wearing a mask.
Yep. All right, so next up from Intamin, we've got the Giga Splash. So let's check this out. This looks insane. This, like you were saying with the panoramic lift. Yeah, this looks crazy. Check this out, guys.
Yeah, this one looks good.
Look at that drop.
First thing I will say, its naming, it is not Giga in height.
Oh yeah, let me just pause it while you say this. Go on, do you want to say what you're going to say?
They've named it Giga Splash. It is not a Giga Coaster. It is 130 something
40 something feet, I think it was.
It was 40 meters in feet. What was that? 131 foot.
Okay.
The reason it's called Giga Splash is because of the length of the splashdown.
The splashdown is 300 foot.
Oh, right.
It was like, I think, 205 meter splashdown or something.
So, yeah.
300 feet long?
Yeah, it looks like
it. 300 feet long splash? Okay.
That would be like 600 feet long.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it would be from there to there. Yeah, I think so. I think that's why they're doing it. Either way,
it's to do with the splashdown length. It's not the height of it.
Let me just start this video again. Let's watch this then. Here we go. Here's the Intamin Giga Splash.
It looks awesome.
I like the people fun. Again. The people just looking up, going, "Whoa! I need that. I need that in No Limits." If anyone can 3D model some people looking up, going, "Whoa!" Even with a speech bubble.
I wonder if manufacturers
get
a version of No Limits that actually has people.
They do.
Yeah, No Limits do stuff for them as well. That's why they're so busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. I feel like I've heard that they do that before.
Yeah,
look
they
at
have
that
their
lift.
own
So,
versions.
unlike other that's like imagine Hero guys, but sat in a boat.
Like, I find the lift design, like in terms of the concept, is really cool. The fact that you do rotate while you're going up. But
I really
the
like
structural integrity of that concept.
It's built on a flimming rock waterfall that's full of concrete. It's not going to have any structure.
No, it's just the fact that it's two big spindly legs that rotate. It's not. Doesn't
Look at that.
look like
They didn't
it'll
even
have the
flinch,
best
them
structural
people.
integrity.
They didn't even flinch when that splash hit them. They were like, it's a warm day, screw it. Here we go.
throw
Look
all
at
the
this
water at me.
drop. That drop is just literally like a P&M hyper drop.
Yeah, the droplets.
And you can't see anything until you get to the station.
Yeah.
That's
The way the splash just swallows up that bridge. Oh my god.
And what I said earlier, it looks like 205 meter interact.
87-degree drop. That is 1 degree less than Oblivion.
Yeah, giga-sized splash zone. That's
Wow.
what I did say though. It looks like a UFO in that last shot.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah.
The last shot, it just looks like a UFO.
I'm a very big lamp.
Yeah. It's the fact there's a glint from the top of it as well.
So let's break this down.
It does kind of just look like a massive lamp.
It really does. So what do you guys think in the comments? Let us know. But this is make sure you smash
That looks
like on this
crazy.
video as
That's
well. Make
odd.
sure you subscribe, guys, as well. Hit that bell. Follow us on our socials. So what I get about this lift is pretty cool, but when it actually turns around before it gets to the top, you'd be like just looking at the back of the facade for the drop. Like that would be
Where's the rest of it?
yeah, kind of thing.
What's the rest of it?
Whereas like Cobra's Curse, for example, that goes up and it like kind of rocks as well. There's a few more examples of lifts like that. There's actually a few water coasters that actually do that, don't they?
Yeah, that's one
So-
thing that I was just gonna say. All the other water coasters that have a lift like this have a split lift system where
Yeah.
it does go up to a
Yeah.
single point, but it comes down and there's actually 2 loading pads at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the throughput going to work on this if there's only that one car going up and down? That has to move ridiculously fast
Oh wow, that's a
to
very
have a good
point.
capacity.
Maybe they're not bothered
If
about that.
The
The
boats
parks.
going through.
Maybe the
But-
parks.
I guess
are
it
that.
depends on how many boats they run on it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They're going to be limited if it's only able to go up and down it within a certain time period.
Mm.
They're
It
gonna,
did look quite quick though.
it's going to
going
have
up
to
and down.
stack.
But James, it's a high capacity car, and technically, even though it goes up quite slowly, it can go down as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look
Also
at it, it's
possible.
4 rows of 6, so that's still quite high output.
4 rows of 6. You mean 6 rows of 4?
Six rows of 4.
Quick math.
Quick math.
But yeah,
Actually,
this looks interesting.
it's just a weird one because it's like it's cool concept, but obviously it'd be better if it's not just like one trick. If they're planning to like incorporate that one element into in a larger ride, because it's a bit like tidal wave at Thorpe Park. It's just pointless. It's one thing and it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's intense and it's really good bit, but it's just like I feel like we should be past that now. Of like the oblivions and stuff in the way it's just like one thing and then done. It's I don't know, but it depends where you're coming from it from. I prefer like story and things like that and something to happen along the way to build up the anticipation.
I'm all for the argument that if one thing, if a ride does one thing really well, then I'm happy for it to have just like a clear purpose like this, or like Oblivion, like you said, like the drop is the entire focal point. It does that really well. If this does it, it's drop and splash really well.
Now
I'm all for it.
imagine this though, guys. It gets put into a Disney park with a really lower drop with more of them, and you put a story behind it,
to it.
like a Pandora story behind it.
That's
or
what I
something
feel
that.
like.
Yeah.
That should be
Yeah.
what it's used for, not just
with like a moving projection mapping in the background as you're going up the lift and stuff like that.
That would be so sick.
I'd even say for something of this size and scale to put at a park like maybe like I know Portaventura already has Tatuki Splash, but
I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, I was thinking the exact thing.
Or even a park like like one of the Hershend parks like Dollywood or Silver Dollar City or something like that will really give it a real thematic experience as well as the thrilling element behind it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have any of you guys been on Drenched at Oakwood?
No.
So that is a single
I haven't,
drop, but it's very steep. And to be
It's
fair,
it's over the shoulder restraints as well, isn't it? So you can't even duck down.
No, you can't.
So
duck
I
down.
haven't done that one, but
really
I
steep.
did Perilous Plunge that used to be at Knott's Berry Farm before it got taken out. It's the exact same concept. although the drop goes underneath the lift hill, whereas on Drenched it's kind of just
It's away from it.
like
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe does.
Par-
The more we watch it, the waterfalls on the drop awesome. Yeah, I do like them watering out the drop.
Yeah,
They're
I
cool.
mean, if
Yeah.
No Limits are going to put this into the game, let's have some waterfalls, shall we? All right. So
That's the thing. I don't think it is No Limits.
It might not be.
I think that one is a separate render engine.
Could
I
be.
don't think that one was No Limits.
Yeah, could be. All right, so we've now got Ultra Splash from Intamin. We told you guys this was going to be an Intamin-filled news show.
It is.
And here we go. So here's Ultimate Splash from Intamin.
Ultimate Ultra.
Ultimate Ultra Splash of Splashmin.
Splash of Steel.
Splash of... It's called Steve.
Splash.
Intimate yellow logo animation.
Intamin are out here creating the next generation of nano coasters.
See, there's two words that I never thought I'd see
Oh,
together.
people actually putting their hands up on this.
There was two words there that I never thought I'd see together.
What's that?
High capacity single station.
Oh, the airtime on that drop would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
But could you imagine this at a Six Flags park? The queues would be insane.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is going to have worse capacity than last ride. The same amount of people per train.
Oh man, I'd love something like Chessington to get this.
Yeah, it will have worth yeah.
It depends on the
this is worse
operations,
capacity.
though, isn't it? It depends on the operations. It's like it doesn't matter how good something is in terms of capacity, because it's like when you were doing the ride sims for what is it called now? I've even been on the coaster. Wallaby
Untamed?
Holland. Untamed, yeah.
There you go.
When Scott was saying Lost Gravity is like 30-second dispatch or something,
Yeah, 30-second dispatch counter. Yeah.
that's not going to work at Thorpe Park, is it?
No, probably not. They don't care enough, I don't think, about stuff like
No.
that.
But yeah, things like this where you can't have more than one train because it's going through the station multiple times.
Mm.
You need a huge train, otherwise
Yeah.
it's not going to be high capacity because it has to
I'll
do the
say-
cycle.
Why does that get so close to the top, man?
I'll
That's
say
unfair.
for the capacity issue, you know,
Just
you
have
do
two of
you
them
have
next to each
have-
other.
you have Pulsar at Wallaby Belgium that has the the turntable in the station so it can accommodate two trains.
Yeah.
And then the Aquaman Power Wave that's being built at Six Flags Over Texas that only runs one train station as well. So maybe this version by Intamin will have the variant where it'll have the turntable in the middle
Yeah. So
as
it
an,
can have
as
a
an
loading
alternative
station,
to what's shown in here.
bring it
Yeah.
over to the track, and then have
Yeah.
another train that's loading at the same time.
You know what's
Yeah.
interesting?
That would work
do you know what's
a lot
interesting? Is
better.
what Jam has just put in the chat. Strong rumor is that Intamin and Mac presented their concepts for Pulsar, but they chose Mac in the end. Mac's exclusivity in the design has recently ended, hence the release of Intamin's version. So,
Huh.
yeah.
Wallaby
That's
wanted a dual
that's
station and the
interesting.
more reliability of Mac.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
That's fair.
I think that sounds pretty conclusive, that Jammy, to be fair.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly like what's probably
If you
going
go
on.
for the Intamin,
This
you get a
ride
proper
is the
launch.
perfect replacement for Logger's Leap. I disagree. Logger's Leap is the perfect replacement for Logger's Leap.
Whoa.
I want it back.
I just
Maverick
don't think you
Clone
can
is
beat a
replaceable.
good old log flume. You know,
No.
you just because it's about
And
the
the
like,
fact that loads of them are closing now.
yeah, because
It's
it's like the
sad.
little just floating along. It's a bit of a break from all the
Yeah, the
from
high
everything else,
intensity stuff.
So I've had a theory
about
about log flumes recently. I think there is something health and safety wise is going on in the theme park industry with log flumes. I mean, for something like Splash Mountain to be getting a retheme as well, and probably getting its to run more efficiently as well. Same with Valhalla. Logger's Leap closes, and then you get the flume that goes for Wickerman at Alton Towers. It kind of feels
and-
like there is
yeah.
something going on in the background in the theme park industry where log flumes are either becoming too expensive to run or it's just not worth it anymore for certain parks. I don't know. Or there is something different there, like a health and safety issue, like water cleaning has to be, like the EU might have different rules in America and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what it could be.
it probably is a cost thing, because when you see like the amount of like the engineering that goes into keeping the water as clean as possible,
Mm.
and it getting pumped around, that must be insane.
Yeah,
The cost of that,
Yeah, definitely. What I do like about this Ultra Splash though is the way it looks. It looks very Egyptian, this model. Like the way it kind of like Greek, you could have some really nice theming around that. You really could, like you could go through like a Pantheon or something like that as you come through the Splash, or that
One
looks
thing
cool.
I'm thinking though, I don't think it's something to do with the water, because they're still building rapids, which take a lot more water.
Yeah, but
at the same time.
that's the thing. A lot of the flumes that we've seen close, like Legoland, still have theirs. But if you look at their system, it's an enclosed loop with chlorinated water.
Yeah,
Loggers
was just
and
water.
that was just water. It was using water from the lake.
Yeah,
it wasn't an enclosed chlorinated system. So I think that might be one of the issues.
Maybe it gives way for a new generation of actual think into log flumes.
I was just about to say,
Hopefully.
do we know what kind of system Chapas at Phantasialand uses?
probably the same as the newer. So probably an enclosed chlorinated system, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whereabouts was it? Fantasia.
Yeah, Fantasyland.
At Phantasialand, yeah.
And why you're doing that? Flume conspiracy. What you just said. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it
I tell
looks
you
like
what,
it's
that's going on a t-shirt, Joe. Thanks for that.
it looks like it's an enclosed system. Like
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah, it looks like it has enclosed system. Like lakes in air quotes that they have are part of the actual kind of system for it.
Yeah.
What were we saying?
So they-
Fluminati confirmed?
They can.
I love to see the vlogs from Thorpe and people going Rumba Rapids and saying the water stank. Apparently, like it was really.
Yeah, that's another
stinking.
one. Rumba, like
Yeah, Rumba
it's-
Rapids,
It's
yeah.
using water from the lake. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Just
not
So
get what
chlorinated.
that in you.
yeah.
It's not
Should we
chlorinated.
should we move on to the LSM coaster, the vertical LSM coaster? Let's have
Yeah.
a look at this one now.
Let's
This
see,
one
let's
is interesting. So let's have a look at this one. Here we go, guys. That's definitely no limits.
Yeah, that's
100%. Those are hard to make round for me.
It looks really nice, and like I was saying off air, like if you guys have seen vlogs at like San Diego SeaWorld and they have Electric Eel or like Tigress and stuff like that. Tigress isn't actually, neither is Electric Eel Intamin, but this is like, this is their version of it.
It is Intamin's brilliant Skyrocket too.
It does feel like Intamin are just coming up with new names for elements just so that they can say world's first.
Hang time stall.
World's first zigzag loop.
Zigzag loop.
It's like
Yeah.
a converting loop.
That is, yeah.
RMC are the worst for it. The mad concepts they come up with for their.
I do
Torpedo dive.
like that 540 roll though.
Could get my trick track double up in.
Yeah.
Zigzag loop world's first.
Yeah.
It's a non-vertical loop.
Tip out corner. Oh,
Hang time stall.
Decelerating backward swing.
I wonder
Here we
if-
go,
I wonder if those
POV.
are- I wonder if those are RMC thought of names for Park.
Sometimes I think the parks do it. Yeah.
I think
some-
Kentucky Kingdom came up with those names for for that particular RMC coaster.
The upside down.
You gotta
Very
realise,
tedious, swervy thing. Yeah.
you gotta like give them
That drop
kudos.
looks insane.
Did
That
they?
bit.
Yeah.
Return to station was an element. Oh, give that kudos.
World's first double down sideways.
Actually,
there.
RCDB counts brake runs and lift hills as elements, so
And you have 12 fake.
I mean, I guess they are technically.
yeah, they're an element of the ride, and it's a block section as well.
Yeah.
So. All right, so
Yeah,
what do we
this
all
one
think?
does
Now
look-
we've all
so-
taken the mick out of this ride. What do we all think? It looks
It
really
looks
cool.
cool.
I think it looks cool.
It looks cool, but the only thing again is not dual station. I feel
Yeah.
like rides like this, if they're going in major theme parks, they need to go with what Mac has done and do the dual stations.
Maybe they can't. Maybe it's patterned, like for certain designs, certain footprints and stuff. We don't know what's actually going on in the manufacturing world. but-
Also, it's like the manufacturer just make these rides. It's on the parks to decide what they want for their own parks. Like Intamin aren't going to be like deciding which parks these rides are going to go to. So like it's on a larger park to decide if this is not the kind of ride that they want to go for capacity reasons, like you've pointed out. But at the same time, you know, there are bigger parks like Busch Gardens Williamsburg, the SeaWorld parks, Busch Gardens Tampa, like they all have these, and a number of Six Flags parks have them.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's all on the parks to decide what they want, to decide what their needs are, really, isn't it?
It just does these type of coasters. They just do not interest me. That it's like they're like a cross between a coaster and a flat ride. And it's just you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'd class it more as a flat. I know it's not, but I would just say I just think if I saw this in a park, I'd be like, that's probably on the bottom of my list of coasters to do today. You know what I mean? If I had to, sort of thing. So it's got its place though, hasn't it? But it's
So like I've actually. Sorry,
What?
go on. Go on, James.
Premier offers the dual station for Skyloop 2s. The parks just choose not to have them, most likely for maintenance of the transfer.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, the only one I've seen is the one at is it Holiday Park in Germany? For their
only one has been sold with the dual station. That's like I get you're gonna have to maintain the transfer, but if you're getting a ride like this and then marketing it as like a kind of showcase ride, which is gonna draw in crowds, why do a ride like that has a low capacity? You're gonna have a queue for 5 hours. I mean, look at when Hagrid's first opened.
Oh yeah,
that's a high capacity ride, and it had a queue for 12 hours.
Yeah, but you can't really compare the size of Islands of Adventure to the size of a park that's going to take on a ride like that. I don't think.
I've seen bigger parks take rides like that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Six Flags will be all over this.
Yeah, Six Flags. They are bigger parks. They do get more crowds. So, and if they go for a ride like this and showcase and have it as a showcase coaster.
Exactly. It's just an easy thing for them to plop.
They need to have the capacity there.
Yeah.
Do you know what it feels like? It feels like they built these for Planet Coaster. just drag and drop rides. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've got an area, you're gonna get rid of an old log flume because everybody's doing it, and then they'll just stick one of these in. Boom, there you go. Happy customers, and people will enjoy them type of rides, and it will make money for the park because they're not spending tons and tons and tons, well, thousands, millions, on these big elaborate rides. Where this is still kind of groundbreaking because it's new. There are new, like it or not, there are new things going on with these rides. So
it looks very appealing to the average, the average Joe going to a park is kind of just like,
and you'll notice that. And you'll notice that when you go to Flamingo Land and queue up by Mumbo Jumbo, that gets the biggest queue because it just looks so different. And that's why.
Just a note about the ride experience on that last one as well. Like you saw, it had lap bars instead of over the shoulder restraints or anything like that. Plus if it's got the same Intamin LSM train seats as the rest of their Blitz coasters and stuff do, then it'll be a much more comfortable experience compared to the Skyrocket 2s, which like the seats are a hell of a squeeze to get into. Those things aren't comfortable. Like, so I think it'll just be a much more comfortable experience in that sense.
Joe just said, watch the parks fight over the world's first zigzag loop.
A zigzag off.
Next secret weapon, world's first.
World's first zigzag secret weapon, zigzag weapon.
Don't you dare, Towers.
This time, but I would say a bit of advice for Alton Towers this time. Before you've made the footers and put the concrete in for the new ride, ask John Wardley.
Yeah.
Don't build half the ride and then ask him. Just get him in these meetings and let's get him out of retirement. I think he's got a couple more in him yet. Definitely.
Well, as VTO said yesterday, they're not the greatest in terms of their contact.
No.
Considering they emailed Towers, like asking about whether they could like get a partnership or anything, and Towers replied, "Yeah, we're already in discussions about you." But they didn't tell them.
Like, that's what happened, apparently.
Should probably kind of like inform them.
Maybe. Yeah, but the
I
thing
guess
is,
they're
there's
just
turnover
saying
of
that,
staff,
like,
though.
you know, we are thinking about it, sort of thing, rather than like it's an official thing going ahead, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but at
might,
least let
yeah.
them know, like, yeah, don't worry about
Yeah.
contacting us. We're already discussing something, kind of thing.
All right, so we're gonna turn to the chat for a bit. If you guys want to go through and get any questions, we had one through before from Coaster Alex, I believe, was about the
Yes.
Where is it?
What
Yeah,
do you
about
think
half
the
an hour
worst
ago.
coaster manufacturer and the best coaster manufacturer is?
I don't think there's a worst.
Personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't think there's a worst.
In
Best
my
has to
opinion,
be B&M for me.
Yeah,
Best
same.
wise.
That's where I was
Yeah.
gonna go.
Worst
best-
as in the ones that I don't look forward to riding would I don't know, whoever made Hero.
Zamperla.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the thing is
I
that though,
think
Zamperla
if-
does have some decent rides. That's in terms of
I don't
worst.
know.
Like, I don't think you
I don't
I
think there
think
is a worst.
for the
can't
worst,
have a worst because like most companies have done at least one thing decently.
Yeah.
So like for me, I really hate Infusion,
SLC.
but I know SLC have done some decent stuff.
Yeah, which is Vekoma.
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 So-
Which are actually taking over the industry right now,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
For me, I'd say one that at least has to be in the conversation for the worst, in my personal opinion, would probably have to be Golden Horse.
Gold.
You know,
Yeah,
the one
they're
out of
such a
the one
random.
out of China
Oh,
They-
right,
that
yeah.
that seems to do
Yeah,
poorly maintained knockoffs of
yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
probably one of the knockoffs. There you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
It's
the
like
knockoff ones are
so-
the
yeah.
worst. Yeah.
Although Pinfari, someone did just
Pinfari
mention
too.
Pinfari.
Pinfari too.
Thank you for riding Wacky Worm.
Kind of a
I-
combined one. Yeah.
Hang on,
Mhm.
did you want to say something, Sean?
I was going to say, just one I'd say is, there's a lot of Gerstlauers that I like, but if they're doing a Gerstlauer, I always
Yeah.
have it in the back of my head that I might have a headache when I come off it.
Yeah.
That's just like
Just the
that's,
reputation that they
yeah,
put out
it's just
kind of thing.
it's just yeah, it's like the last time I saw like the other week, I come off it, I had a banging headache.
Yeah, you
It's
didn't
the
look too
only
good
one.
after you got off that. Like, I watched
It
the
was-
vlog. He was like, I don't know if it was worth it. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
man.
it wasn't, man. And you was like, when it went down, you were like, that's typical Gerstlauer.
What I love about Saw is I love that indoor section. I
Yeah.
love the
Yeah,
indoor
the
bit.
indoor
Yeah, it's the
section
best
is
It's
bit.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that in the UK. So that's what I love about it. The rest of it, I'm like, I can
Meh.
do without.
Yeah.
But I just love that indoor bit.
I think the airtime hill is the bit that I like the most on the actual layout.
Yeah.
The airtime
Oh
hill.
yeah, that ejector airtime.
That is
Jeez.
ejector.
Yeah, it's good. It was running good though when I did it. We did it. It wasn't as bad as it's been before.
Hmm.
If I'm honest, I don't know what it was, but it was.
As Jamie says, it is a torture machine now.
Yeah,
Related
it
to
basically.
Hero. Oh, pretty much, yeah.
What do we think?
Um,
What do we think of Saw versus Smiler in terms of the ride experience? Then
Smiler.
Oh,
I
Smilers
know
is a
one's
million times
I
better.
know one's a Eurofighter and one's an Infinity, but
Mm.
Mm.
Smiler's a million times better. I never get a rough ride
Yeah.
on Smiler. I've never had one. I've had a rattly ride, but that's different.
A
Like-
couple of years ago, it was unbearable for me. I've got to say, it was really bad.
Really?
But yeah, and I think it was last year. It was last year when I did it, and I was dreading doing it, and it was just like so much better. I think they might have changed something, like they changed the wheels on it or something. I don't know what it was, but
I think when they
they
had
did
the
something to
crash,
it.
They did change because they got 2 new trains, didn't they? I believe. I think so.
No,
the
they
one.
only replaced one.
Well, they got one.
They only
Mm.
replaced one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that loads of people been that I've seen quite a lot.
yeah,
Where people are like, "Oh no, it still has all of its trains. They replaced both of them." Nope, they
Mm.
actually did only replace one of the trains after the incident.
But they
So
did
have got one less train than they used to.
But I reckon they've added something to the new, well, all the trains that are there right now, in terms of
It's-
suspension
It's
and
most
wheels.
likely going to be just wheel changes
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
yeah,
because before Colossus got its new trains, they did change the wheels.
Yeah.
For a new style of wheels, and that, like, it was still rough, but it was a lot better than what it previously used to be.
Yeah.
I don't find Colossus rough. I'm weird, but I never
I-
find it rough.
It's
The Cobra roll
it
for me, that's it.
depends. The Cobra roll can be really rough at times.
Mm.
It just depends on how it's running.
I didn't
Yeah,
go on
wheel
it this year, to be fair.
compositions have been changed on Smiler.
Mm.
Interesting. Right, what have we got?
We had a kind of combined one here.
Let me just say hello to Coaster Dan and a few people in the chat while have you got that?
Yeah,
Hello,
I've got it.
Phil Nation, Cola Roaster, Tomster, Lasat, Joe. We've got Behemoth, we've got Steve, we've got everybody in the house. We've got a lot of people watching today. 19 people watching, 17 likes. Thank you so much, guys.
Kind of combined from Mr. Rollercoaster.
Cola
and
Roaster.
Mr. Cola Roaster.
It's hard to say, isn't it? It's
Everyone out
really
there.
hard
I
to
misread
say.
that.
Catches me out.
And Joe.
Hi, Chad.
Mr. Cola Roaster, which of the new Intamin models do you think will be the most successful?
The single
And
rail.
The combined, which of the new Intamin concept would you want to ride the most as well?
The single rail one. I want to ride that wall ride. That looks so cool.
I want the Giga Splash. No.
Yeah, I feel like most successful will be the single rail racing, but most wanting to ride, I would agree with Marcello with the Giga Splash because it just looks fun.
Yeah,
The drop
I
looks
think
fun.
I think I would have to go with one of the water ones, either the Giga Splash or the Ultra Splash, just because I mean I've done the one of the Premier Skyrocket 2s, which is like the vertical LSM, and I mean one of the water rides that I want to go on more than any other is Pulsar at Wallaby, Belgium.
Yeah.
So I suppose just off the back of wanting to do that so bad, I would go for the Ultra Splash or the Giga Splash.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So Colossus needs new trains. Colossus did get new trains, but it's still the old design that they used. I think they replaced both of them now.
That's
I know they did replace one of them.
That's so odd because they must know that a lot of people have difficulty, especially if you're very tall.
Yeah, them restraints.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
the way that very, very difficult to get in and out of that ride.
How tall are you, Sean?
I'm 5'10".
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, well,
I'm about the same height, yeah.
I have
I'm
problems
okay.
with my
They're fine for
knees.
me.
I'm okay.
Sub 6 foot
it depends.
guy, yes.
Sometimes I do.
Imagine
The thing that I
6.
have an issue with the Colossus ones is when people getting out don't push them all the way up, and then as you're just about to get onto the train, they've actually locked the restraints in that position.
Yeah.
So you can't push them up any further to then get in.
I tell you what, I want to make a video on just talking about restraints. Is I see it. I've noticed it a lot recently. Is when you're waiting to get on the train and someone's getting off and they can't get their restraint up and they start panicking. I love that moment so much.
Oh my god, I'm stuck.
Oh, Galactica is the best for
So
that.
many times.
I keep seeing it again, and it was on
Galactica, the
yesterday.
restraints.
Yesterday at Towers when we was in Nemesis, some guy had not unclipped his seatbelt bit, so he was trying to force it up with the seatbelt still attached, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He was panicking as well. It's so funny.
Well, why would you panic?
I don't know. I don't understand. I think it's like they think they're going to get round again or to go round again.
But fair enough. Strap me back in. I'm going.
I'll be like, get back.
They honestly think the operators are just going to say, you know what, screw it, I'll just send it again.
Yeah. Do you imagine?
Have fun.
It's so weird. I don't understand it.
I mean, that did happen to me the first time I ever rode a wooden roller coaster. I got sent round twice. The Nick Streak when it was the roller coaster. Yeah, I got sent round twice.
Wow.
Wow. I only did it for a dare as well, and my dad, because he were going to buy me something as I was a kid. But we went round twice. I was like, no! But now I'll be like, yes!
when we was at Toverland, me and Joe last year, it was such a quiet day that we was able just to stay on Troy for like 5 goes in a row. Nice. It was insane. They were just like, yeah, go around again. And we asked go on.
Oh no, I was gonna go slightly off topic and just ask how Toverland is, because I want to visit Toverland so badly. It looks so nice.
Where is Toverland?
It's Netherlands.
Right, yeah.
Toverland is, and they've got Phoenix, which is the best wing coaster I've ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It's so
Phoenix
good.
Looks so good.
And then like obviously Troy is like the best GCI I've ever done as well. It's just like it's a great park and it's really quiet. It's always quiet. We was there for 2 days and it was like really cool. There's a lot of school kids that go there, like with the schools. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've heard that they get a lot of school groups.
Yeah, that's all that's there. But it just like you can just keep going. We could just everything was walk on when we was going there. So even when we was on Phoenix, they just kept sending the trains around, and we was just swapping seats with each other in the station. And then, but yeah, it's a great park, but it's a really one of them weird parks that it's grown massively in the last like 3 years, where they used to just be an indoor like kiddie like place where it's like, you know, soft play area, and they expanded out the back, and now they just got coasters and all sorts. So they're in this weird transition phase at the minute where
it looks like they're trending upwards in terms of actually theming their areas and stuff like that. Like, you know, the area around Phoenix looks so good. What's it called? Avalon?
Avalon, yeah, it's so good. It's one of the best themed areas I've been to. It's on the level of Disney, literally.
It looks
so
beautiful.
good.
It looks really good.
I would recommend
the
anyone
Merlin's
going.
Quest boat ride in there as well.
Oh god, yeah, that's really good. But yeah, I recommend anyone going there. It's brilliant. And plus, because they don't have a limit, they've got loads of like play areas, but they don't stop adults from going into the play areas. So if you want to just
really,
you just want to go on a big bouncy thing, you could just go and jump on it. It's fine. It's the most fun I've ever had.
I'll be the first one on it.
Yeah. It's very fun, very fun. And they've got that really kind of original log flume. I can't remember what it's called now, but it has like a turntable mid lift hill.
Oh yeah,
it's so odd.
Yeah.
It's like you're going up it, and then in mid lift hill, it turns you around on the lift hill, so you're tilted. It's really weird.
What? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, and you go down the drop backwards, don't you?
Yes, the first one you go down backwards, and then you go round. It takes you up the lift hill backwards.
Yeah,
and then it turns you halfway up the lift hill on a slant. Turns you back up. It's so weird.
That confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, go watch a POV when you can. It's interesting. Definitely.
I will do. Anybody else got any questions there in the chat? Let us know. It's your last chance. You've got about 2 minutes to get your questions in, and we're going to move on to the next topic.
What country would you say is the best to go to first in Europe theme park? I wouldn't be able to say because I've not been to Europe.
I would say country wise.
Yeah. What country?
I'd say Germany or Netherlands.
Both.
Germany
have a lot.
Yeah,
agreed.
Because Netherlands has got it's got not that as many as Germany, but the parks are just so good there, and the people there as well. Massive coaster like enthusiast community in Netherlands, like probably the biggest in the world. So like people just love to talk to you. And even the people who work at the park in the Netherlands, like they will just talk, if you've got some kind of t-shirt on with a ride somewhere, they will just talk to you for ages, and it's just lovely. Yeah.
Also, a good thing about those two countries is that they have such a varied sort of range of parks in terms of what kind of experience you're going to get from park to park. Like they both have the really densely themed parks, like the Eftelings, the Europa parks, the Fantasielands, and then they both have the more rides centric kind of parks, like, you know, the Wallaby Hollands and Wallaby and my mind's blanking on one from Germany, but yeah. They both have a very varied lineup.
Me and Joe, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, if any of you follow me, but we're literally going to Efteling. We leave on Monday.
Yeah, I did see
Efteling
that.
on Tuesday on Phantasialand.
It's a birthday present, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we're
cool.
we're getting the Eurotunnel. So, but I've not done Phantasialand yet, so I'm really looking forward to doing Taron.
Dude, I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
I know.
Phantasialand is my favorite park in Europe at the moment.
I've seen the videos, and it could be a good contender. I think it would be, because it's got everything I like in a park. So,
have you been to PA yet, Sean?
Yes, I have. That is an amazing park.
Like, to me, that's just another level in Europe for me. That PA is just like, because it used to be a universal park, and it still has that vibe to it, and it has that big park feel, like in all the towers, like a resort. It has that really, really big feel to it. And I should have gone there like almost. We were going to go in September. Couldn't go in May, but we're going to go in September. But even that's not looking like it's going to happen now, because there's so much going on. We don't want to book anything. But I mean, something like going next Monday, you know, you can go. You can move on, can't you?
PA is one of them parks that we went to it and was like, we need to do this one every year. You go to some parks, I can wait, you know what I mean, to the next time I go. But PA is like, this is just like a staple. Like, I need to come here every year.
Well, that segues really nicely into the next topic.
Nice.
Of parks that I will probably only do once a year, or if they release something new. And if you guys saw that me and Joe went to Flamingo Land, yeah, that was an experience. So, the park itself is I won't call it a theme park, I'll call it an amusement park. There's not much theming to it. Like I said in the video, the SLC has its own theming around Kumali, which they always have their own theming around their own plaza anyway, because the plaza is part of the model. If you've been to like Terra Mythica and things like that as well, you would see the exact same thing. You go underneath a rock facade, and then you go through up some jungle, theming queue line, and that's literally it. And then it goes round, and you fenced off where the ride area is, and it's the same for pretty much every SLC.
I love that shout out to Terra Mythica because I love that park.
Terra Mythica's beast. The theming at Terra Mythica is something else. You walk in and you're in the middle of Egypt. You're like, what?
Yeah.
It's so good. James, we'll have to go there, mate. Honestly, it just looks really cool. But yeah, back to Flamingo Land. Kumali is a fantastic roller coaster, and if it was anywhere else in the country, I would just ride it all day. It just felt like nobody really cared from their side. Like, they got people through the gate, and we don't care. So the rides were split to rotations due to staffing levels, I believe, where Kumali didn't open till 2 p.m. Now, to me, Kumali, as soon as it opened, the amount of attention it got should have been the one that was open over like Velocity or something like that, because it's the biggest ride there, and everyone wants to go on the biggest ride first, don't they? That's what they want to do. And it kind of got to me a little bit, where I was really looking forward to Kumali on the drive there, and I was like, I'm going to get on Kumali, it's going to be an SLC that I'm going to enjoy and all this, and then I get there, it's like, nope, not open yet. And then we were stood in Mumbo Jumbo's queue line for half an hour before maintenance had even signed it off. Like, and for Kumali, when we actually got on it, we actually walked up to the station with no staff around, like just freely, just walking around the park. Like, you could go anywhere.
So Kumali opened at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What time did the park close?
5.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
So Kumali was open for 3 hours of the day.
And honestly, that POV you see is the first train of the day with guests on it.
Oh, wow.
We were strapped in and sent out, and I was fuming about that because, that ride's been sat in the station. We've not seen it move all day. We've not even heard the power turn on. Like, it's not.
Hang on, so they did. Wait. They didn't even test it first.
So they must have tested it in the morning, but then left it sitting for about 5 hours, and then we all jumped on it, and they sent us on the first train. Yeah, they didn't send a train round first, Mikhile.
That's dodge, mate. That is so
and it made the loudest clonk you have ever heard when it left the station. Like, that's got
to be against some kind of regulations.
I thought so, and they didn't even check some people's restraints as well. Like, it just felt like, I don't know. The park has really nice. It has a nice feel to it. It's a good park. Go to it, but don't expect levels of detail like Alton Towers or Fort Park, and do not expect any social distancing and people wearing masks, because on their website it states that it's not mandatory, so you don't have to do it. So yeah,
I don't understand that whole thing, because it's like when all the parks were posting the "we're good to go" thing.
Yeah, they didn't get one.
Did I not get one? So
I don't think they've got one.
They don't need one. Is that the thing? Like,
I don't know.
I just thought they needed it.
I'm sure they got it for the zoo, but they didn't get it for when the park opened. I'm not sure. If anyone's in the chat that knows, let us know, or let us know in the comments. But it just felt like it was originally a fairground built onto a campsite, and then they just put some rides there that were permanent. That's what it feels like. But the new coaster, just it looks next level. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it just looks next level.
Honestly, for me, so Flamingo Land is about an hour away from where I live in Leeds, and I used to go every at least once every year as a kid.
Yeah, once a year.
Like for me, Flamingo Land hasn't been the same since they took out the Bullet and Magnum Force, those two Schwarzkopf loopers they used to have. That's when I stopped going.
Right.
Like, they took out my two favorite rides in the park. I was like, I have no reason to go anymore.
What's your opinion then on the actual park itself then? Like, considering that you used to go once a year, now you don't go anymore, or
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking when I used to go frequently. I'm talking literally. The first time I went to Flamingo Land was when I was 3 years old. So it was like very early years
Yeah.
that I used to go.
And it does have a family vibe to it, but it's not very
Yeah,
family friendly
it is.
environment.
It's very much
weird.
it's very much a family theme park. It's almost like a step up from like Water Valley. You could maybe say.
Well, I compared it
has-
to
it
Oakwood.
has- Yeah, you could put it in the same region as Oakwood, but it's obviously from as you've seen, it's not on the level of the towers, the pleasure beaches, the
No,
thought parks,
nowhere
all
near
of those in terms of what they can deliver, in terms of what they can offer. But I to be honest, I think they do an all right job of attracting who they attract.
Oh yeah,
But
they know their
it's
audience.
I don't. Yeah, they do. But just for me personally, like I was very big. It's only in recent years that I've come to appreciate more, the different kind of target audiences that different parks can, well, target, for lack of a better word.
No, it's easy to get
it's-
lost in. You want to turn up to a theme park. And It's
Yeah.
the best thing ever.
When I was young, I all I cared about was the roller coasters, and the bigger the better. So when those two coasters left, it was kind of just like, well, I have
There's
no
no
good
reason to go. No reason to
Yeah.
go back, kind of thing.
And you couple that with around that was around about the same time that I found out Alton Towers was a thing as well. So I started to go there more often.
Mm.
It was a little further out of the way, but yeah, it had more that I liked. But yeah, so like with the addition of this new 10 inversion coaster that they're getting next year, it'll be good to go and see what it'd be like. I've actually ridden a different version of it out in Italy.
Alter.
That's the one at Cinecittà World. So that's pretty decent. So I'll make a trip out there to go see how it rides and how it is, how it's presented and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, after that, it's kind of like, will I go back again? I already know how it's going to be. It's not going to be something that's going to have me like, oh, okay, I need to go there once every year to go and ride that now. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose it is what it is.
I do get what you mean there. What was Altair like then? Was it good?
It was decent. It's a decent ride, yeah. I'm someone who's always liked Colossus at Thorpe Park.
Same.
But Altair is basically like Altair is basically a slightly smoother version of Colossus, but with lap bars.
Mm.
And a different profile drop.
Yeah.
And so like the experience isn't wildly different. It's very similar in a lot of ways, but it's, I suppose, how you feel about OTSRs versus lap bars. It's that's a hotly discussed topic in the coaster enthusiast world. But
do you get a bit of ejector as you go over that first drop on Altair?
On Altair, not that I can remember. I guess it's a pretty sizable train, like it's a 7-car train. So what you get in the back row will probably be more than what you get in the front row.
Yeah.
But and it was a few years ago that I rode it, but
I can imagine at least
it's a decent
some
drop.
Yeah, I can imagine at least some floater as you go over there because it's cable driven, so it would pull you over. You wouldn't just like go over it and dangle. Even if you're at the front, you want to dangle. You just go over. So it'd be.
I don't remember it being a super fast cable lift though.
No, I don't think it is. I've done a video on Flamingo Land's next coaster, what's coming up. So if you guys haven't checked that out on the channel, make sure you check that out. We've also done a No Limits 2 render as well, which has actually got 10,000 views right now, and it's still climbing, which is ridiculous. Yeah. So big shout out to Wolf Raging 95 who helped us out with that one. Yeah, definitely. And so make sure you check the videos out. And Flamingo Land, for me, go experience it. I think everyone will have a slightly different opinion than everybody else. I think depending on how your day goes will reflect on how the park feels to you the first time you go. I know that sounds really stupid to say because it's quite obvious, but ours really did start off crap.
Yeah.
Really badly.
It is really dependent though, isn't it? Because me and Joe, we've been around like all the Merlin parks, plus Blackpool and stuff.
You've
And,
been everywhere, bro. Let's be honest.
When we first went to
He's
Alton
done the
Towers,
rounds.
it's kind of like got gradually busier, so it's like introduced it to us like very slowly.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like, I see it really busy. It doesn't like fill me with panic, and I think, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Yeah, like I kind of just deal with it, and I've got my own ways to deal with certain things. Like now, it's like if we enter a queue line, it sounds silly, but if we enter a queue line, I look who's following us.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell who's going to social distance, for example, and who isn't going to social distance.
Yeah, we had some great people, like when we went on Galactica, just after we finished the phone call with you on your stream, we were talking to people in front of us and we were staying socially distant. So there are, you can still have that queue interaction that you had. Yeah. I mean, they were nice people, weren't they, James, in front of us that were talking to them?
Yeah.
They were chilled out. They were asking us questions as well. Yeah, it was good, and there was and people behind us were socially distant. I know a lot of people have had a problem with the Galactica queue. You got to remember, though, guys, you have to lean on something on the Galactica queue because it's that steep. So, if you're on the opposite side of the fence, then you're gonna have to move to the other side, I'm afraid. I do think they could do more with plexiglass, though, in the cattle pens that we do have at Alton Towers and Fort
everywhere
Park
at Merlin. They need, because Blackpool they've actually put up like wooden boards between cattle pens.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've not seen you vlog yet, so I don't know.
They've painted them up as well in the style of what the ride is. So like a Nickelodeon streak, they've painted them orange, so they don't look like they don't look like they look like they should always be there. Do you know what I mean? Big one, they're red. So they've done things like that there, and it's just like you're like, well, if Blackpool can do that, then like I'm sure the Merlin parks can put some, especially in the Smiler queue. That is awful. Like I'm not going for the Smiler for the foreseeable future because it's just like they're so next. You're next to someone, so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be difficult to do it in the Smiler queue because all of the thing is actually a cattle pen cage, so you couldn't really put plastic up anywhere. What you could do though is have people because they're bringing staff back now to the park, so they need to think how they can use people at times. If I was at the park, I would probably have queue marshals.
They need to do it in like a funny way. There's a lot of parks in Europe where they've got character actors who are like pretending to be like police and stuff, and it's in a funny way. So it's like Alton Towers could blatantly do that with their traffic police. I can't remember
the traffic patrol.
The traffic patrol. They could make them go around and just like make the people who aren't social distancing just feel like an idiot, in a funny way. Because if they just had a full-on security, people would be like have a backlash against them because some people are just like that, aren't they? Whereas if you do it in a funny way and everyone's laughing, it makes people do it a little bit more in a fun way.
Yeah, well, let's have an example of it. So if say you go on Nemesis, you go around the external queue line, someone's getting a bit too close for you. You have someone who's at the entranceway who can look back, and if he sees it, they can just say, "Look, you guys, you need to step back a bit." Or as you're coming down towards the station, be like, "Right, guys, can you step back a bit, please?" Like, I think it needs.
The problem is when you're a young kid who has got a summer job at Alton Towers, and you're saying the same thing constantly. At some point, I can understand you just being like, "I just give up,"
Yeah.
And I know it's easy for a lot of people.
And younger operators are already reserved as it is.
Maybe then they just every 10 minutes, an announcement comes on, like it does in Mutiny Bay. It says, "Wash your hands, use the thing."
That's one thing that I've found quite strange. So, like a few years back, we always make a joke about this, which is fences are not benches. Please do not sit on the fences.
Yeah,
we were in the detonator queue line. People were sitting on fences. The ride op made that announcement. The people that were sitting on the fence immediately got off of it.
Yeah.
Ever since like that incident, I've never heard a single other operator make an announcement about people sitting on fences. And in this case, they could make announcements every so often, reminding people to actually socially distance.
Wickerman does. Wickerman does it.
I didn't hear it.
50.
I didn't hear it the first day we were there.
I think what they've done is they've listened to the feedback because we was in the Wickerman queue yesterday, and every 15 minutes it wasn't a pre-recorded thing. It was like literally someone going, "Make sure." What made me laugh is they said, "Make sure there's a 2-meter gap in front of you and behind you, and you're like, you can't make sure there's a 2-meter gap behind me because it's not up to me. You know what I mean? That made us laugh. But even though they're saying it, the people behind us were like really close to us still. So in the end, we had to turn around and just said, "Do you mind?" I said it in the nicest way possible. Can you just give us a little bit of space? Not massive amounts, just a little, because they kept bumping into us every time we walked forwards, and it was that bad. And they kind of just like, yeah. What? Sorry, sort of thing. And it was just like, why make it awkward, guys? Because the problem is like people are saying, oh, well, if you're so upset by it, why don't you just tell him to get away from you? Well, you've got to spend an hour in the queue with someone.
Yeah.
You could potentially get in some kind of like, I'm not saying like, physical way. Or
it feels
like that,
it feels shit
but
though,
it's
doesn't
just,
it? Like if you just stood there, it really does. It feels proper bad. Like I wouldn't want to. Like them people behind us, James. That's why I told you to go to the next spot, because I could see you were getting wound up. I was like, he's going to say something. So I was like, James, you carry on. I'll stay back. But we ended up just putting our masks on and just cracking on. But as soon as we got to the Wicker Man station, they were like, guys, get behind that line, because they weren't listening. And the guys in the baggage hold, they were really good. And they were like, you guys better wait.
The operators were saying that?
Yeah, the baggage hold was like, you need to get behind that line. Get behind it now. Because they were trying to walk into the pre-show room, and the host had already told them, don't move, because me and James were going through. And they were the people behind us who were causing the trouble. So it just shows you that, if a ride host has to talk to people like that, imagine what you'd have to say to them in the queue line to make them see sense. And it just wouldn't be worth it.
Well, I'm starting to think.
The Wickerman.
I'm thinking the best way to do it is probably just to take. Do you remember like the fart spray in a can you used to be able to get?
Just drop stink bombs everywhere.
If you got your own mask, because I wear a mask in every queue anyway. I don't care.
I do now.
So I won't smell it. So if I just like keep dropping stink bombs the entire way, they'll definitely get away from it. Or a little fart machine. The sound.
I'm thinking of just strapping a pool noodle to my waist and just walking through the queue line.
Hula hoop, a 2-meter hula hoop.
A hula hoop around you.
And to start, just whack them with it. Get back. No, but seriously, it's an issue. And if you guys are listening, and you're worried about going to a park, just be vigilant of like what Sean said, who you're queuing up with and stuff like that, because you can just let them go ahead and then just
have an alarm that shouts too close.
You're
too close.
We've done it a lot of times now. Honestly, we've looked behind us and gone, no, go ahead, and then we've gone, okay, that's like a family. Just look like they're going to social distance. I know it's harsh, but you can tell the people who
you can tell because they're not doing it as they're walking into the queue line anyway. Yeah, exactly.
So you can normally tell.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff saying that like Saw, Smiler all have announced. They did not have them on. The only announcement they did have on the first day at Towers
was Mutiny Bay
just reminding you to wash your hands and like stay apart. But the actual queues didn't have any announcements of that sort on the first day, which is something that just seems like common sense that they should have there from the start.
Yeah,
we also didn't see, like, the first day we went to Alton Towers, which was a couple of weeks ago now. Obviously, we saw them cleaning the trains and then send them round every half an hour.
Yeah.
We didn't see that once yesterday.
Oh,
so I don't know if they're like just doing it at less. I don't know, but we didn't see any empty cars going around.
Are they now filling all the rows now as well?
They're filling all the rows. I think 13 has still got the water dummies on them or whatever. But the ones we went on yesterday, they were not cleaning. Saying that though, sorry, Jewel, that they clean, when we was in the queue, they cleaned them because obviously they're blaster guns. They're probably a little bit more like hot on that. But in terms of the coasters, we already did Nemesis and Wicker Man, but I didn't see. I was in the queue. We was in the queue for Wicker Man for 70 minutes. I didn't see one empty car going around.
Yeah, Thompson saying went first day and they had announcements for almost every ride.
Oh,
Wicker Man, Nemesis, and Galactica did not have announcements for us.
No.
Nemesis didn't have it, but Wicker Man did have it, but Nemesis definitely didn't have it. So
I swear, I did not hear any announcements.
To be fair though, it is kind of a thing with. I saw a lot of people moaning about it, especially in the Wickerman queue on Twitter. So I think if they see enough of it, they're like, we better start just telling people.
Yeah.
So, but there's just no consistency. That's the
No,
problem. There's
that
no
is-
consistency.
That is literally the problem across everything from supermarkets to theme parks. The problem is the consistency. That is literally it. There's different regulations and rules for different things, and
Yeah,
just
Debbie
give us one rule,
She
and then
said
we'll all stick
apparently
to it.
Merlin Park's regulation changed tomorrow to allow cleaning only
So-
every hour,
Oh,
Well,
then
they
every
would.
30 minutes.
Well,
Makes
I think they're
sense.
already doing that personally, but
So to look at another dimension of it, Daniel Sheldrake just said that 11K capacity at towers now. That's not actually the first time I've heard that. Like,
wow.
what did you think? What did you think about like just the level of the amount of people at
Wow.
towers
Well, the thing
yesterday?
is with-
Yesterday, Sean, because I heard
Yeah.
recently that like it was sort of like quiet to just okayish one day, and then just the next day, literally just off of someone who went recently, who I was talking to the other day, they went across 2 days, and the first day was all right, like it was kind of quiet, and then the second day just got like ridiculous, like packed out. So like, what did you think about how it was yesterday? Did it seem like the capacity had been raised like all of a sudden?
Well, we went the week before, and that was fine. And then we went yesterday, and I just felt like it was too full. Like, and that
Really?
we went to Blackpool like on Monday, and that's a small park, and like I didn't feel unsafe there, but I think I've not felt unsafe at any park, even Thorpe. Alton Towers, I did feel a little. It was in my head a little bit yesterday. I've got to say,
Really?
just because it was very packed. It was when we got there, we got in the traffic, and it was like in Alton Village. The traffic was. It's not been like
Yes.
that in so long.
Yeah.
Like last year, we would go once a week, even in the summer holidays, and I'm
Yeah.
not seeing the traffic that bad. And then we got into the park, and it's hard to judge in terms of queues because of the social distancing. Like we was going to go and do 13, and
Yeah, I can
it was coming out of the queue, like out of that massive queue pen. So we was like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, it was just like there was so many people there yesterday. There really was. I definitely think they have raised the capacity, but at the same time, like I'm sorry, I don't blame them. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
they've been
got-
closed for this long.
They've
need
got to
to
make
base
Yeah.
so
that
much
revenue.
money, man. And
They-
it's like
yeah,
for
they
me,
need to
I'm
make
like,
money back.
I don't know if I'll go to, even though I've got a Merlin pass, I'm not sure I'll be going to Towers for a little while at the minute, especially with the start of the summer holidays now.
Yeah.
Because I was saying at the start of the stream, I think a lot of people have had time off from their cancelled holidays. They were going to go to
Yeah.
like go abroad. They've replaced that with going to like Towers and
Yeah.
things. So I think that's what's happening at the minute. But at the same time, like the parks they are working tirelessly to enforce this stuff. It's just the
Yeah,
problem is
they
just,
are.
it's the
They are.
queues. It's the queues. That's all it is.
Yeah, because there's
And
no one
and-
around, is there, when you're walking around the
Yeah.
parks? It's just actually in the queue lines.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's them pinch points. It's like
Yeah.
going into X sector is heaving. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
walked in there for a second and we walked straight back out because we just like it was just people everywhere.
Yeah, we had an issue by Smiler's entrance, didn't we, James? There was just like 40 people just stood there. And then
Yeah,
actually,
like
that is
5
when
different groups right
that-
next to each other.
that is when an announcement did come on. Actually, when we was there from the Smiler, when that happened, it's in the vlog. I
Right.
remember that. Yeah, from that, everyone was stood outside the entrance, and then an announcement came out, which was make sure you're socially distant, blah blah blah. And then the actual ride host who was at the entrance was like, "Guys, you need to step back." As we were walking through as well, there was literally like a group of 40 people. It's like, come on.
I mean, it's
I had so Thompson said 4th of July was perfect for us. 18th was too round. I thought like because of them they had just opened. Yeah, the capacity was reduced, but they weren't used to actually enforcing any of the measures that they put into place.
True.
The queues were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
were you waiting a
the
long
the
time?
Smiler was up at like 2.5, 3 hours.
Wow.
That's half your day.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Literally.
I didn't do Smiler or Oblivion because of the fact that it would take up too much time.
it's
yeah.
funny. Like,
I went and done Wicker Man again and was queued an hour for that.
Last year, we me and Joe were talking about this when we was at the pot yesterday, and we was like, remember last year when we had the single rider queue at Smile, and me and Joe would just get on it in like 5 minutes when there was a 2-hour queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run it straight in like we'd be waiting there, like not even 10 minutes sometimes.
You always had the option, didn't you? Where if you wanted to ride as a group, you could ride as a group, and if you wanted to ride on your own, like
We just
you
did
might
that.
get lucky.
Yeah, it'd be like, it was so good, but now it's just like,
Yeah, like
Mate.
that's what we used to. Luke
Yeah.
and I were more than happy. Like we've ridden the rides together. It doesn't really bother us. We just want to ride the ride, so go in single rider.
Yeah.
And occasionally
Get on the same train at least.
sometimes we've even been next to each
Oh,
other.
we have, yeah. On the Smiler, we have a few times, yeah.
I've had that.
And like when I was at Thorpe, just with me and my dad didn't go on the ride, so I went into single rider for stealth.
Yeah.
The guy that was in the queue in the single rider with me had never been on stealth before. We ended up next to each other.
What was that like?
He screamed a
He
lot.
screamed a lot.
It was quite funny.
No, actually, that
So,
segues.
I have something similar to that. Like, so one visit I made to Six Flags Great Adventure while I was out in Pennsylvania. We went to Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey and rode Green Lantern, the stand-up coaster they have there. And there was a group of, I want to say there was like 3 or 4 of us at least. So, and we all decided to go in the single rider line, just to try and get through the ride quicker. Yes, we all ended up in the same row. All at least 3 or 4 of us were in the same row.
That's amazing.
coming out of the single rider. I was like, how have we managed this? I think we might have got on the front as well.
Yeah. So we just touched on stealth a little bit. So at the end of every show, we're going to pick out a random coaster of the day. Now we do this on Keep You in the Loop group on Facebook, so make sure you check that out. I haven't been doing it recently because I've been busy, as you can tell on the channel. But but yeah. So today's random coaster is actually stealth. So yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Segue.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's operated by Intermin. It's been open since 2006. It opened on the 15th of the 3rd, 2006. Its length is 1,312
One of the times
feet.
Merlin actually opens a ride at the start
Yeah,
of the
and
season.
it's 205.1 feet tall. It's 80 miles an hour and a vertical angle of 90 degrees. And hydraulic launch from 0 to 80 miles an hour in 1.9 seconds, according to RCDB. So yeah, there you go. A little bit of interesting information for you there, guys, as we end out the show. But we've been behind the scenes on stealth, haven't we, James? And that was that was an interesting when we got told to go in the launch area at the hydraulic launch. Oh man, that was incredible. Do you want to tell people about that?
So most of the time when you do behind the scenes, the ride won't be operating. On this case, we actually done the behind the scenes midway through the day. So the maintenance had to radio up to the ride up and tell them to stop launching trains while we walked through the ride area into the launch bunker, which when you're in there, you actually have to lock the door behind you. So you don't randomly walk out while they're launching trains. But yeah, it's a massive concrete bunker, bulletproof glass, separating you from the hydraulic launch area.
Yeah.
So we were on like the electrical panel side. And interesting fact, to actually get into the launch, into the hydraulic launch area, there is a key in the electronics panel, which is used to unlock the door. So when you take that key, you actually have to turn off the electronics to the entire ride to unlock the door. Get into the launch room.
So it's a cut-off switch. A lot of
so
rides
you have to cut off the entire electronics to the ride.
I know Sheikra does. I know they do that for Sheikra behind the scenes when you go up the lift hill. Everyone has to have a cut-out key and on a padlock. And then you walk up, and then obviously that's when the ride stopped. And then when you come back down, you put your keys back in and unlock the padlocks, and then the ride starts back up again.
Yeah.
Around the thing. It's a similar thing, but it's really cool. It's a cool idea, actually. It's really cool.
But yeah, so we went into launch bunker, and then they radioed back that they can start launching rides again. And just so if you've stood by the launch bunker outside, it's pretty loud when you're in there, even with 3 foot of concrete and bulletproof glass.
It's loud.
The sound is immense, and you're just seeing the actual coil
It's
The-
just
the
like
dr- The cable, just seeing the cable drum spin is ridiculous.
How big? I was about to say, how big is that winch drum? Because in pictures it
massive.
looks
It's massive.
ridiculous. I can't imagine how big it looks in person.
Like, I'd say the actual hydraulic system itself, not including the drum that the cable's on, probably is about the size of a bus.
Yeah,
it's massive.
It makes me sad that, like, you know, hydraulic launches are kind of going out because there's nothing else like them in the world, man.
no.
Oh, they are so good.
Even Rita's packs a punch. Even Rita's packs a punch.
I like Rita. I know everyone hates on it. I like Rita. I think that launch is insane.
I'll tell you what, actually, Velocity's launch is good. That is a good launch as well, and that's the same hydraulic launch, straight down, and it's a long track as well. It's long, so you get like a really long time of acceleration, and obviously in the position you're in, it feels really cool when it boosts you off. Like it literally is like you're just pulling up on the throttle on a motorbike, so boom, gone, boom. It's really good.
LSMs are just not there yet, man. Like to be able to recreate that, I just don't think. Yeah, they can
definitely.
reach it to that speed, but they just can't give
Take
you
longer
that,
to
like,
get you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the whole transition from hydraulic to LSM launches is just the efficiency of being able to run it. You know, the cost efficiency and how
it makes
reliable
sense
they
to
are
the
and stuff,
park.
isn't it?
Yeah, it makes total sense to the park, but from a riding point of view, it's they're just two different beasts. You just can't like the launch of them. And it's like because when last time I went to Thorpe, which was like last week, she had never done stealth, but she had done Red Force.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Okay.
So she was like, "How's it gonna compare?" And I was like, "It won't compare because I know like Red Force is obviously taller, it goes faster, but it's not as intense. It just
Has she
isn't."
been on Furious, Sean?
Yeah.
That's a good launch.
Furious
we didn't like. We both did not like enjoy Furious Baco because it was just.
Did you not?
No.
I
really?
love it. I love it.
The launch, Joe enjoyed it more than I did. I found it unbearably rough. It gave me a headache. We did it like three times.
I just call it Furious Bacon.
I just
That's my name for it. I've never ridden it. I just like calling it Furious Bacon.
Breakabacco.
We kept going on it, and I kept going. Oh, maybe I was on the wrong seat. Maybe I was on the wrong seat, and I just kept going on it, and it was just like that is just awful. Imagine on the front row, that'd be sick. It'd be so good. But yeah, it was just like giving me a headache every time I did it, and it was just the launch is cool, but then it's like obviously if you've got a bad finale, it ruins the entire ride, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I was just like, "Oh, just get me off this thing now, man!" Like
off that ride, the finale looks beautiful. Like,
yeah, it's so photogenic. Like they got so much, like so many, like photos from that. It's lovely to watch off ride, but on it, and like I think we discussed it a while back.
How much does Red Force stick out on that on that view? You know, you get of the Mediterranean buildings.
Yeah, you literally walk in and see it.
How much does Red Force stick out at the back now?
Red Force sticks out in anywhere you stood in Salou. Like you can be sat in a bar in Salou on the front, and you look up, oh, there's Red Force. No, literally.
When we landed in the airport, we could see it.
In Rias. You land in Rias, yeah, you can see it. It's massive.
There it is. The views from Red Force, it's like nothing else.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's like Shambhala, isn't it? Where it's like the views are amazing.
Next level. It's like a different planet.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
So like I've got a bit of a quirky outlook on the topic of hydraulic launch coasters versus LSM launch coasters. I kind of feel like with Intamin kind of leading the way, sort of, it does seem like my favorite launch is the hydraulic launch, and probably either something like Stormrunner or Top Throw Dragster that I've done. But when you look at the group of sort of the hydraulic launch coasters, with the exception of maybe Stormrunner, they are kind of just all about the launch, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are kind of just all about the launch. But when you go into the sort of the newer, the LSM coasters and stuff, they seem to offer a much more in terms of everything else that you would put into a comprehensive ride experience.
Yeah, more of a layout.
like
Yeah.
like Taran, Cheetah Hunt, Maverick, etc., etc. They all do different things. Like it's not just about the launches.
Well,
is
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Which I think is really interesting.
Like Icon, when I first did Icon, like last year it opened, weren't it? Was it last year or the year before?
The year before, I think.
2018, wasn't it?
2018, yeah. So we did it the year it opened. It was like, and I remember just being surprised by like how it wasn't forceful at all. But then you soon realise it's not about the launch. It's just to get you going, and then that second launch hits you, and you just like, that is sick. You know what I mean?
Especially on Mac coasters. Yeah.
It's just to get rid of the lift hill, isn't it, and just get straight.
Basically,
into it.
yeah, it is. Basically, that is all it is. But I find the launch on the front of Icon pretty cool as you get towards the tunnel area, because it adds that extra bit to it, and it throws you up that hill. Whew.
It is. No, it's nice, man. But I guess like when I first did it, I was trying to compare it to like the other launch coasters I've done, which is like hydraulic launches. So when you compare it to that, like you were saying, it was like, oh, it's all about the launch, but it's not. It's a different kind of way of using it, isn't it? Where it's just like, let's get going. It's still, when you get up to speed, it's still nice.
Yeah.
But it is about the rest of it, like you say.
I agree. Completely agree.
For sure.
I mean, like Storm Runner as well. That's just got like the top hat, and then it throws over, doesn't it? And then it does like a lot.
Well,
like
I was going
to
say like Storm Runner is a bit of an exception to the rest of the hydraulic launches.
I kind of feel like Stealth
other stuff after it as well.
I kind of think Stealth should have been Storm Runner. That would have been cool. 200.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's even funny you say that, because it was supposed to be, Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes,
it was supposed to be a clone of that initially, wasn't it? But
I believe so. There's rumors that it was like half of Stealth, half of Rita. Like that's what one of the things.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
James, you've told me about that before. Like, wasn't Rita supposed to be at FOB and Stealth at Tower or something?
I heard something like that, or like that they were meant to be like one ride.
Yeah, I think
and then it got split into. I don't know. That probably.
There's so many rumors about it, isn't there?
Yeah.
John Wadley, if you're listening, send us an email. Let us know. Or Nick Varney, anybody who's in there. Yeah, it'd be great to know. It would be good.
I heard by multiple people that it was destined for Oakwood. And then they pulled out a second, and then Alton buyed it at a really like cheap price, which is the only reason they have it. Like, I can't see Oakwood even considering buying that, but
no,
I don't know. Like, that's I've heard that of multiple people.
Speaking of Oakwood, though, Speed is a mean ride. That is a Eurofighter that isn't rough. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like what's the park at Southend-on-Sea called?
Rage. You've got Rage down there.
Yeah, Rage. I really like Rage. I think that's a great Eurofighter. It's brilliant.
How is that compared to like Saw? Is it as smooth, or is it smoother? And
it's smoother, yeah. It's much smoother. I think anyway. It's all subjective, isn't it? Because people find things rough and some things not rough, and whatever. I just thought Rage was. It really surprised us when we went on it, because I was at the top of it. You know, when you get up to the top and you go, "Why have I done this?" And then we did it, and we was like, "That was really good. That was a really good ride. It was really very nice."
Cool. All right.
It's funny thinking of the Sean, you were saying earlier about Gerstlauers and how they have the reputation of being rough and stuff. One of the smoothest coasters I've ever ridden is actually a Gerstlauer coaster. Now that I'm thinking back on it now, Daredevil Dive, Six Flags Over Georgia, it was. I can't stress it. It was so smooth. It was silent.
Yeah,
like it didn't make any noise whatsoever. It was silent to the point where it was just weird being on it.
Well, I think with Gerstlauers, I think it is a question of how they maintained, because like all Gerstlauers when they open, they are really nice. They're smooth.
Smiler. Sorry.
I thought Smiler was good when it first opened.
Smiler was mint, but I mean, just the state of it in general, like Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
no, completely agree. I think it is how they're maintained. There must be something in like that massive like instruction booklet they're given. Do this, do that, and then they go, nah, we won't do that.
We'll write our own.
We'll do it our own way. Don't worry, guys.
They don't even know what a jet wash is in the Smiler station. That's the thing. Like the Marmalizer is looking, it's looked better. I mean, I know they've not had like maintenance on the park and there's weeds and stuff in the ride area and things like that. But come on, guys, they've been open for 3 months now, well, 2 months now, so that should have been done. You know, if you can cut the gardens, you can get rid of that. It's it's little things.
Towers though, isn't it? Because they're contractually obliged to look after the towers and the gardens, but they're not contractually obliged to do anything else.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't need to be contractually to look after the rides and make them look as world class as they actually are. I would if I was head of maintenance, I'd be on their asses. I'd be like, "Whoa, come on, get this done now."
It sums them up, though, isn't it? Though, because it's like because like obviously Merlin, they don't own the land of Alton Towers.
No,
but a condition of them being there is that they have to maintain it all, don't they? And then like the places they're not contractually obliged. They just go, oh, we'll just let all the vinyl peel off and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your Thorpe vlog, and I'm looking at the queue lines with all the bushes and the shrubs sticking out a mile. I'm like, what the like?
Where was that? The bit around Saw?
Just near Quantum. You was near Saw. It was when you was walking back from Saw. I was like, it looks absolutely disgraceful.
I remember once being able to grab a twig while I was on Colossus. I literally came in the end lines. I actually came back with a twig to the station.
There you go. This is yours, Merlin property. There you go.
There you go. I trimmed your tree for you.
Everyone
you were branching out, James. That's all you were doing.
Everyone always asks why did Merlin go for dark things? I'm like, because they can make
they don't have to maintain it.
Yeah, make the wear and tear part of the theming. Like it's no brainer for them, isn't it? Really, they just go, okay, oh, there's a cobweb up there. Oh, it's part of the theming. Like that's fine. You know, it's weeds there. Oh, it's Saw. It's meant to be like that. It's an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah,
it's a genius in a way.
That only works on Nemesis, in my opinion.
They tried it with Swarm as well.
But it's like the bit you walk in and stuff like that, the aesthetics. Like if you compared it to a Disneyland park, you'd be like, okay, this is like kindergarten stuff. Like it really is. It's you know, you walk into a Disney. I've seen vlogs. I've not actually been to a Disneyland park, but from what I've seen, there's always someone cutting grass. There's always someone trimming a bush.
Oh, like
it's like
you go to Epcot. There was literally planters. There must have been we saw about 50 gardeners there at Epcot.
Yeah, exactly, and it gives you that fresh, new. Everything looks polished. It's a theme park. It's not supposed to look like Tesco's when where all the bins are. Yeah. It's.
I mean, you wouldn't even. Wow. I mean, you wouldn't even. I'd even say you wouldn't even have to go to a Disney park to see something like that. You go to like a Cedar Fair park, like Cedar Point or Carowin, something like that. They're all like they're even on more of the scale of Thorpe Park in terms of like an amusement park more focused in that direction anyway. But they're really nicely landscaped and they're really clean as well.
We're talking about Toverland. Like with the 2 days we were there, we saw gardeners there constantly, like working on stuff. And I don't know. It always brings me back to. I don't know if any of you guys used to watch the Bro Coaster series on YouTube, but that
at times I did.
It was like Planet Coaster and stuff. But one of the good things I heard one of them say was just like, oh, if you want to make a realistic park, more of a rundown park, in terms of like shrubbery, it's like color costs money, greenery costs nothing, and that's kind of like the basis of like all of it. Really, it's like if you see color, that's expensive because you have to maintain that constantly. Greenery, just let it grow, do what it wants. So
and speaking of color, have you guys seen the new castle at Florida? The way they've repainted that up.
I'm not a massive fan of it.
Are you not? I think it looks amazing. I think it pops. Like it pops Main Street so much.
Yeah, I think
I've seen some people go in on that. Yeah, go on.
It doesn't bother. Like either way, it doesn't bother me because I've got no like attachment to it.
Yeah, same. Absolutely the same.
Yeah. First time I went to it was like earlier. That was like in February, and that was just before they started painting it. The last day was at Magic Kingdom. They actually started having all the cherry pickers up and started doing it, which made me laugh because we walked in on the morning. walked down Main Street and there was cherry pickers all over it. I was like, imagine if this was your first day at Magic Kingdom. Seeing that castle, and no one can have photos. And I was like, everyone's taking photos of it, and I was like, why are you getting your photos? But anyway, like I saw it and I was like, it looks really nice. And then I saw the new one. I was like, I'm not sure I'm that much of a fan of it. But like I say, it's either way, it's a castle in it.
It's like the spires of it do have like a sort of unrealistic shade of blue to them, but I mean,
the blue for me,
I don't really have much an opinion of it.
Yeah, the blue just looks a bit weird to me, but it's one of them. I think because the Magic Kingdom, that castle is so like well known, it's been photographed so many times. It's just a weird thing seeing that in a different color.
Oh, imagine what
it's just a little oversaturated, maybe.
Maybe, but I mean that maybe they've done it on purpose they've done it for a reason.
Yeah.
Disney don't do things.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I know what they're doing. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
And you know, they're building Tron around there. They're building the new Splash Mountain as well. So it's like they're improving bits of the park bit by bit. And I think if you start with the castle, that's quite a bit of work done.
Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom.
Well,
that needs so much work, man. It's so like out of place in that entire park. It feels like you're in like Clockwork Orange. It's so dystopian. The smell of what they called the cars there, the driving
Grand Prix is whatever it is. Yeah,
the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Yeah,
Speedway, yeah.
They kick out so much diesel. Like it just in that entire area. And you're like, they need like ripping out or turning into electric or whatever. But yeah, it's not a good area. That is for me. That's probably the worst.
I think they have plans for Tomorrowland because haven't they changed the sign there recently, or is that another Disney park?
Yeah, they've changed the sign and they've changed like the pillars that go around the People Mover.
Yeah,
look a lot better. But the problem with Tomorrowland at the minute is it's that type of thing where it looks like the futuristic of like what people back in the 80s thought that the future
90s, 80s, and 70s,
and they know that, don't they? They know that. Yeah. That's why they're trying to move on Tron and stuff like that. I think that's going to be the stepping stone to set them up. Yeah, I think that's probably what inspired
we went on the People Mover and we got a really good view of them doing Tron when we was there. And
how big is that track? That track looks so wide.
It's huge, mate.
Yeah, it looks massive. From what I've seen, it looks massive. Well, how big's that drop as well? Is it a big drop out the station?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's insane, but it is for Disney, for Magic Kingdom especially. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I don't have any like major coasters like that at all. It's a bit of a weird move for me because I'm like, well, if they're building that there now, how are they going to follow that up if they're going to keep doing that? Because it's just not. It's not known as that type of park, really.
No, it's not. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything we want to talk about. Oh, no, maybe not. Iron Gwazi got the construction workers back on site from RMC this week.
Oh, yeah.
We almost missed that.
How did I forget about that?
We'll quickly touch on this. I'm dying for the toilet. But yeah, Mikhile, if you want to go and just talk about this real quick, and then we'll just wrap it up.
So I think it was Dan from Midway Mayhem who posted it first.
Yes, it was. It was Midway Mayhem.
It might have been someone else.
No, it was definitely Midway Mayhem. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it seems like RMC crews have gotten back to Busch Gardens Tampa to do the last bits of whatever work they had to do on Iron Gwazi. What I'm thinking is that they probably just because they started testing before the park closed for because of COVID and everything, didn't they? So they're probably my guess is that they're just checking over, like the ride's been stood untouched for however many months now. Busch haven't been able to go in there and do anything to the ride. Yeah, it's been about 4 months, hasn't it? So I'm guessing that first of all the lien for it got paid, or they came to some kind of agreement with RMC.
Oh, about the construction
in the because that is why it hasn't opened with the park, isn't it? RMC filed a lien against them just to just say that we need the rest of the money that needed to be paid for it we're going to need that before we, you know, fully commission the ride and hand it over to you. So I'm guessing that has been paid or is going to be paid like very soon. And now RMC crews are on site checking over everything on the ride so they can start testing again. That's my guess for it.
They have tested though with people. They have tested with people as well, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have for like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days that they managed to get testing in before they had to close. So I mean, they probably have to do a bunch of more testing for a few more weeks to be able to like fully commission it before handing it over to the park.
Yeah, because they do actually look like they're still.
We'll see.
They do actually look like they're still working on construction of it though. Like they've got cranes up, they've got people up there checking over track. Like I don't know. Maybe they saw something in the POV and they were like, "Oof, you know, we need to change a little bit or something." I don't know. Maybe something will change.
In that POV that definitely exists and needs to be released to the world.
It definitely exists. We've seen that, that bit of it. All right then, guys, we're gonna.
Bush, I don't know what you're playing at.
Yeah. All right then, guys, we're gonna call it a day there. We've been going for over like an hour and 44 minutes. Wow, that went quick. But yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. Sean, where can people find you?
They can find me, ParkSpill, on YouTube, ParkSpill, and on Twitter is ParkSpill, and Instagram it is ParkSpill. So, yeah.
ParkSpill all over.
On everything.
All over social media. And make sure you definitely go and check out and subscribe to his channel. After this stream, go and check out his Blackpool vlog because the footage will blow you away. I've seen the intro and I'm like, I was so gutted that we had to do this now. It's like I wanted to watch the vlog. But yeah, I'm gonna go and watch that in a minute now as well. So make sure you go and check that out.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to Europe next week. So soon there'll be an Efteling vlog, and there'll also be a Phantasialand vlog to see what social distancing is that. So yeah, definitely
excited for that, man. I'm excited to hear your opinions on Taron and Black Mamba.
Oh mate, Black Mamba, I'm so looking forward to it. And Taron,
it's gonna be awesome.
They're both awesome. Awesome.
Just a quick one, I'm at Towers next week, and then the week after that, 2 weeks after that, me and James and Joe from Theme Park Insanity are down at Fort Park for 2 days. So lots of things coming up on the channel, so it's going to be awesome. And after that, I'll be hitting the Pleasure Beach as well. So yeah, there's loads of stuff coming. There's going to be more vlogs coming. It might be not for a couple of weeks yet, but they definitely will. Some more POVs from Flamingo Land are going to be put up on the channel as well. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to our CoasterGen, hit that bell, and follow us on all our socials. And for now, I've been Luke, he's been Mikhile, he's been Sean from ParkSpill, he's been James, and he's been Marcello, who's been very quiet. And we'll all catch you next time. See you later, guys.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Say bye, James.
Bye, James.